Now we're live. Now everyone can hear us. Thank you all for coming back. Appreciate it. It's the Morph After Party. Woo! So, Morph, you being the star of the show, do you just want to let everyone know, well, I was going to say your channel name, but it's on the screen. Where can they find you on Twitter? Do you have a Twitter name?
Yeah, it's just Atheist Morph.
Jassa has joined us. We've got Bill for a wee while before bed, and we've got Peter the Threatener in the bottom corner. Also, we've Mama. Everybody knows Mama. She was here from the beginning.
Yeah, she's the top paid person in this title.
I'm just the furniture. That's all I am.
I'm amazed that it's not me that's getting all these technicals, because Australian internet really is shit.
Well, we just lost Bill. Bill just vanished, and we got Dave. I don't know what happened, Bill. It says not connected anymore. So we've got Dave. Dave, hi.
Chief imitation.
Dave. Fuck you, Dave.
I can't believe it's not Dave.
Hi, Peter.
So just to be honest, what you did wasn't the worst thing. I just said in while we were offline that I posted a little tribute to scientist Mel. So I was talking to Mel earlier, and I was talking to her and telling her about this Twitter DM group that everyone who's ever been on MathPig channel is in, except scientist Mel. And scientist Mel said, well, that's probably my fault, because if you talk to him, tell him, has he learned the words to
fuck. No, I have not. I have not learned the words to Danny Boy yet.
Oh, Danny Boy.
And just to say, I just added her to the group, so right, there you go. No, I do not know the words to Danny Boy yet. I said this to Mama as well about the singing stuff and all. Like, yeah. No, we sang for ages that night, but she was very angry at the end that I did not know the words to Danny Boy.
Robbie, is it bad that someone that lives in South Alabama knows Danny Boy and an Irishman doesn't?
I know it, but whatever.
No, it's just not a song, man, because that has Morph will tell you if he asks his wife, a Protestant knowing an Irish song. No.
You idly whistle it and get beaten up.
Yeah, you whistle it and get your knees done in there. Like they knock on your door and tell your mother to bring you to a certain spot, so when they're finished shooting them in, she can take you to the hospital. And that's not a joke.
Switch Bill in to say night.
Bill vanished.
Oh, fair enough. He's already gone.
Yeah, I said he's going to go to sleep.
He was there for. I can't see the private chat. That's one thing that does. Yeah, with the hack.
Yes, I want to improve that. I want to put that somewhere else somehow.
Yeah, I know. We'll sort that. Be grand if you can change the opacity. But anyway, Peter, you have known Morph for how long now?
I think for quite a while. I don't even.
That's not a fucking determinate amount of time.
No. So let's be fair. I followed Morph before he morphed, and so that's a separate account. So I have no clue when did we start following each other, Morph? I really wouldn't know.
Oh, it's more than a year now. I would have thought. Yeah, a couple of years probably.
I think you're on my second Twitter account now, probably.
Yeah, I am. Yep.
Yeah. See, so this is before I got suspended. After I got suspended.
Why would you get suspended?
Because I seem to arouse theists.
Do you? In what way?
Oh my!
in a very bad way. In a very bad way.
You talk to SJ, don't you?
So I think she got me suspended at least on 10 different accounts. So she runs a Twitter DM group, much like the one that MathPig has, but the only thing they do in that DM group is target atheists and then mass report them so they get suspended. I'm not sure if it's still there, and the reason I know is because I was part of the DM group. With,
Should I be offended that I've not been mentioned?
Dave, you're like a constant, you're a constant of the universe. You're always
It's gone.
Dave's like gravity. He's always here, so we don't have to really think that Dave's here or not, okay?
He works in the background to make everything work. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Morph, have you met Dave?
No.
Dave
Morph,
is
have
usually
you
a big
met
giant
Dave?
floating head.
No, I'd never heard of him. I can't believe Peter didn't poke me in his direction before.
Do you know 3 times now? Three times
What?
now, Dave. Hold on, now I'm going to kick you, right? 3 times I've actually said, Morph, do you know Dave? And Dave has answered for Morph. 3 times now.
Well, I don't know Morph.
I didn't ask that.
I don't care. Right. However,
Fuck, Dave.
I have been following him on Twitter for God knows how long. So I must have interacted with him at some point.
Dave, you follow so many people on Twitter, though. Like, so many people.
Funny story.
Yeah, but
Funny story. Dave follows like random porn stars and people who put their ass up and their tits out on Twitter. And
I think
3
he does
of
that in his other account, doesn't he?
Three of them jackholes have sent me friend requests.
3 of them followed me today, man. I don't know what's going on.
They only followed me today as well.
Oh, did
Well, I've
they?
sat there reporting all 3 of them.
Well,
See
I
that-
feel left out now. What the fuck happened?
Because you're not a cis
That
white male.
that never happens to me. I literally have 2 accounts that do that, but I followed those when there were still atheist accounts.
So no porn stars follow Peter. Okay.
Nope.
Morph, you've been
No.
very quiet up there listening
And if-
to our little
and
group
if they-
random.
If they try, they just get soft blocked, and so.
So
I
Morph,
have
you've been
nothing
listening to our
to
little
add about-
community that we have. What do you think of our
You
little mad
just
community?
literally asked him to talk and then you fucking interrupted him.
I have nothing to add about Peter's podcast. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't hear you over Jassa laughing.
So
I
We're
said
going
I've
to
got
start
nothing to
calling
add
you
about
again.
Peter and Pornstar or Dave and his knockers. I've got nothing to add about that, really.
So you were saying, Morph, go on ahead.
What's happening? Where's everyone gone?
he's being an ass.
Yeah.
What he does is fine.
See, this always happens. This
More
always
so
happens.
with you,
That-
Peter. I don't know
That's
why
why
it happens to
MathPig
you.
isn't allowed on anyone else's channel anymore.
This is what happens with power. You've got this sort of omnipotence over who's in.
I had to. You said this. The line. Yeah. Sorry, go on ahead. You were saying, Morph?
I forget.
It's about fear of omnipotence.
But yeah, this thing. Yeah, if you had the control there to drown everyone, would you do it?
As a group, people probably
Right.
would. As an individual, I wouldn't. But you watch
So as
talk
long-
shows. Like you
as long
watch
as
any
there's
talk show. Should we
as long
take
as
this
If you have
famous
the power
person?
long enough,
Should we take
you
this
have the
famous
power
person
long
and
enough.
dump them?
Don't talk over Morph.
Ban yourself, pig. There we go.
he has the
Okay.
power to get rid of himself. How much power is that? Does God
I
have
have
that
a
much?
question. Where are you originally from?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from London
Yeah,
originally.
I was about to say that is not an Australian accent.
No,
It
no.
has an Australian twang to it, but it's not
Yeah,
right.
it does. It does a little bit.
Posh,
I've lived all over though, so yeah, my accent is individual, I guess.
Oh, that's all right.
Awesome.
I'm technically a Scouser, so.
Well, if
Oh,
Amanda would stay too much longer,
If you
enjoy.
did it here, we'll nail everything down.
So, but Morph, when you're at your job,
Yeah.
don't you take over the accent when you're there?
How do you mean?
I don't know. So because I've got friends in Germany, I
Yeah.
speak German, but when I'm over there, within 24 hours, I take over the dialect as well.
Yeah, I don't think I picked that up. Like, yeah, my wife does that. If she were talking to MathPig, she would be back to her old accent. In no time at all.
Situation. Situation.
See, that's that.
I don't do that. I don't pick up like that.
MathPig is a bad influence to all of us, so don't let your wife get near him.
I'm
still here.
behaving. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm still here.
That's because you actually told the truth. That's why.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Australia?
We came here for work. So yeah, we got jobs here, and we moved over for that. And if we ever go back to the UK, it will be too soon.
Ouch.
So that's a question that I've never asked. So did you specifically go and seek a job in Australia, or was this just a coincidence?
Yes. I'd been to Australia before. Really liked it. It came out here. I mean, MathPig, what type of rain did you have today?
Today was absolutely sun shining through the trees. Beautiful day. As I said to you earlier, man, I took the daughter down to the river. We threw stones for hours into the water. The sun was splitting the trees today.
Wait, you're not allowed to go down to the river.
No.
No, I'm allowed one exercise per day. So I took the child and the dog out, and we went for exercise down to the river, and I let the dog run about in the river.
Were you out for more than 59 minutes, 59 seconds?
No, because she's 3 and she can't hold it for that long. We had to run back up to the house.
Look, you're better than guys in the South. They just tell their daughter to go pee in the river, okay? So
I tried that yesterday, man. I actually held her up and I tried to be a pretend toilet. No, it did not work. Daddy,
that would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, no, Mama, I had to run back up the fucking road, and it was like, oh no, she's wet her pants. I have to go. Talk to you later. Bye.
Oh no.
Well, at least for now, you're safe, MathPig. The moment people are allowed to get out, and you're walking down the street with a little girl that screams "fuck MathPig," then you might be in trouble.
Oh, I have her on. I recorded her for 10 minutes today playing Tekken 7. And she was bashing the buttons, and she got like through 3 levels. She said, "I'm the boss and MathPig" on recording. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to premiere that. It's literally all you can see is Tekken and her voice. But she's bashing the buttons.
By the way, has anyone here seen the video on Twitter that's going around of the little baby pointing the finger and saying "cunts, cunts"?
Oh.
I'll be back in 2 minutes. I just want to say, Atheist Morph, I really appreciate. I'm going to come back, but Atheist Morph is here tonight because Ali was supposed to be here. Ali ended up very unwell with COVID and stuff, so I wanted to give Ali a wee chance. So she's had the link all night. Oh, well, not all night. She's had the link for a while. I told her all night that she's welcome to jump in, and she's in the back room, so I'm going to let Ali jump in.
Wait. Kick me out. I want to go make a sandwich.
Well, that was easy. Ali, thank you very much for joining us. I know that you're not feeling too well. I appreciate you coming in. And we're all waiting on Ali. Hello.
And suddenly nothing happened.
My damn microphone, like the button got pushed. It's a Yeti, sorry.
I knew you were going to say that. I was thinking Blue Yeti. You need to push that button.
Yeah, I had it unmuted and everything, and I was like, why are they not responding? So hi guys. Yeah, we have COVID in our house. My hubby is definitely on the mend. He said today that he can take almost a full breath, so he was telling me earlier that it didn't feel like his lungs were improving, and then now he's saying he can take almost a full breath. He still has this wicked fucking cough though. I, on the other hand, I keep going up and down. I woke up feeling a little better today than I did yesterday. They gave me prednisone to bring the swelling in my lungs down, and that seems to be helping a lot. But, the nurses are kind of monitoring me heavily because I've got an autoimmune condition, technically 2 of them, but one of them is a little less serious than the other, like celiac. It's if I'm stupid with what I eat, then my body's killing itself, whereas Hashimoto's is kind of all the time. but they've got me under monitoring where they're calling me every day and making sure that I'm okay because I'm in the high risk category. So like I'm getting taken well care of, and that's a good thing.
Cool.
There's some people I think that are less fortunate.
No, as long as you're keeping yourself safe, taking all the precautions you need to be, and things like that, you're good. You're good. Like the daughter's mother shouted at me earlier today because we walked down the banisters and she didn't want to take my hand, and I was like, she'll be fine. She used the bar as we went down the hill, and I got a bollocking for that. And she said, do you think I wanted her to hold my hand for safety? I didn't want her fucking touching things. I was like, she'll be all right. Wash your hands, keep yourself safe. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Don't
think
trust
it's
Trump.
with kids too. They keep saying that kids are not going to get as sick. It's the parents, getting sick off the kids that's more of a worry, because it's kind of like chicken pox that way. If kids don't have risk factors, so far it looks like most kids are not getting that sick.
Well, it's just because her mother and her grandmother both work in old folks' homes, so she's overly precautious.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Her grandmother runs two. Right? She's the manager of 2 old folks' homes, so it's like, it's not like I'm worried about the child, it's I'm worried about the 30 old folks that I could kill. It's like, okay, well, I can sort of understand that. But
Well, yeah, that's what Steve and I were talking about a lot on Nox streams, early on, was when we were doing the coverage of coronavirus. Like, the big thing I kept saying to everybody was, hey, we have high-risk people in our house, but we're not even trying to protect us, per se. We're trying to protect anybody who might come into contact with us while we're, developing it, because according to the timeline, I either contracted the day my husband was symptomatic or like the day or two before. So like there's a very good possibility that before he was even showing symptoms, I might have picked it up, like before I was even taking care of him. So like it's kind of scary to think that you really can get it when, there's absolutely no symptoms whatsoever, and that you can have it for a long period of time without showing any symptoms, and still, like, during the incubation period, you can still give it to people.
Well, the good thing is, considering that, as you say, you do have COVID, and we did cancel an interview, I'm glad that you're feeling well enough to come on and say hello to Atheist Morph, say hello to Jassa, and ignore Peter, he's an asshole. Mom is quite nice, and I appreciate you coming on and feeling well enough that you can do that, Ali.
Well, and I was really enjoying your conversation, Atheist Morph. Like, I don't know if you saw me all being an asshole in the side chat, but like, I was enjoying the discussion that you guys were having. I piped in some stuff about Matt Powell because, as everybody knows, like, Nox Channel has a history with him, and I'm kind of a part of that. So I was trying to give a little bit of context for folks who weren't as familiar.
No, I appreciated that. No, and Mama actually mentioned one of your comments on stream because it was definitely poignant, Plus, he's a fucking prick.
Oh yeah, he's a douchebag, and we did put out our official apology. Like, Mama and I handled stuff behind the scenes. I actually want to give her a little bit of credit, like, even though she just went off camera. When my husband ended up in the hospital the second time, she stayed on the phone with me for like a good 2 hours, comforting me when I had a breakdown. Like, she's one of the best people I've met. She's gonna get all embarrassed, but thank you so much for that. Like, it means a lot to me.
At any time, really, not a problem.
Morph
You're
knows
welcome.
maths, so if you need to know anything about quantifying and things like that there, or multiplying this, that, and the other, you've got a man in a red suit here.
And on a little side note, he's up to 40 subscribers.
Oh,
Nice.
Spooky just put the number in the side chat. Spooky was number 40 to subscribe. And we also have Neil, the 604 Atheist.
Hey,
And
how's your hair, Neil?
he's wondering how you got such a terrible sunburn.
he's got no own name.
So, Atheist Morph, I got the call from the nurse around the time that you started talking about sort of why you wear your suit and all of that. What is the culture like in
Chat
your
Spooky
area?
was not-
Because I remember you mentioning, like, hey, people aren't quite as opposed to me being an atheist, but they might be opposed to me promoting it. Like, why do you think that is?
Because I work for a religious organization.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're not what I would call religiotards. They're quite progressive in many ways, but to actually promote atheism, that they wouldn't be keen on that. I'm an atheist.
Yes, and that.
That was very loud something. I don't know.
Yeah,
if that was
that's
on my end.
here.
Sorry.
I don't know if that was your. I don't know if that was your mic or if it was someone else's.
I think MathPig farted.
I think Peter's
You
an
need to go
asshole.
see a doctor, mate.
It was a cyberstorm glitch in the Matrix. That's what it was.
I don't
It's
know
all
what it was, but
simulation,
I'm a brain
guys.
in a jar. I'm a brain in a jar. Fight me, bro. Right, go on.
Ali Kai,
today.
I can help you out with Matt Powell, because we had him on as well, and at some point he was talking about his favorite book, the King James Bible, and then we started talking about how King James was bisexual, and how he tried to justify that in the British Parliament by saying, well, Jesus had a male boyfriend, so if it's good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me. And that's when he
Really?
left, because
Yeah, like
there was a little too much.
Matt and I are supposed to do some kind of debate at some point, but it's looking like James from Modern Day Debate does not want him back on again, and he's saying that if he can't do it on Modern Day Debate, he's not going to because he doesn't trust any other platform.
See if he'll do it with Nevermore. He's an amazing moderator for a debate.
Well,
Yeah, I think he won't do it with any atheist is the problem.
No.
He's not
Most
an
of the
atheist.
Christians
He's not an
don't.
atheist.
He's a
secular
Buddhist.
spirit.
I know a good agnostic. You know, there's a few agnostics out there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, like Naka. Like, if Naka were to moderate, there wouldn't be a moderator.
And
But
saying
like,
that,
no.
Ali, I know for a fact that Richard Madsen would moderate, and you can't put Richard in a box. And you know that Richard moderated other things, and I know that he would definitely offer to do that.
Oh yeah,
I've
Richard
seen,
would be
I've
an
seen
excellent
Eric
moderator.
Murphy tried to put him in a box. That took him 3 hours, and he still ended up nowhere.
Yeah, Richard is quite the character. Like he has some absolutely batshit crazy beliefs, but he's a very respectable human being. Like I think he's an amazing person.
Yes, you could. I'll definitely reach out to Richard and ask him to send you an email or something, and that Richard would make a good moderator. Or Atheist Morph, he said he wanted to get into discussions and stuff. Do you want to debate, Morph?
I could certainly moderate the Matt Powell one though, because I think I could be completely impartial.
But so this is an interesting question, Morph. Have you thought about maybe inviting atheists or theists onto your channel to? I mean, I know you would love to have a shot at Bob Bunnell, but you'll have to strip down to a Speedo and join him at the YMCA.
Yes.
Well, that's actually kind of an interesting thing. When after you answer, I've got a question also. Since I didn't hear you talking about it during the discussion earlier, but I'll let you answer. Sorry, I'm off my medication. I've got ADHD. I am not allowed to take Adderall with prednisone, so I'm a mess right now.
Oh, she talked too much. Had to kick her. ADHD, kick her.
Fuck off, troll pig.
Oh, you see, I have the power.
He's got the power.
No, so I'm thinking maybe Bunnell would accept you talking to you. I'm not sure. I think I annoyed him to the point where he's now at the same level that MathPig is on.
Don't say that word.
I've never actually done any debating. I prefer to think about what people have said and then think about my response rather than having to come up with it right there and then on the moment. I took part in one debate only and I lost it, and I thought I had an unlosable position, so I don't think I'm a great debater.
Here's a better thing though. We had him on a while back, and we're going to hopefully have him back on soon again.
Well, I didn't see that one.
Anthony Magnabusco.
Oh,
What he does is street epistemology. If that's what you're going to apply to a theist, you don't have to debate. You also don't come across as aggressive because you're not trying to counter their position. And I'm using a lot of the stuff that I've learned from Anthony, and I follow him on YouTube. I'm part of the Discord server. So this is a skill because it is completely different from a usual conversation. You need to built-in pauses, for instance. If people don't answer immediately, what we used to do in conversations is immediately reply and maybe ask a different question. Sometimes it's better to just wait, because when they're not coming up with a direct answer, that's the moment when they start thinking about their own position, and it absolutely works. I'm too jumpy still. I want to get my point across as well.
You're too jumpy. You spent 4 hours last night with Jill and Praise talking about memes on atheism, and you're jumpy?
Hey, I lasted for what, 5 hours?
I love the way that I sent you the link the same time I sent Mama the link. Everybody else lasted 15 minutes, and we're not dealing with that shit because he's fucking insane. You then yapped until you got onto the show, right, in the chat, texting everybody, wanted to get on, whinged at them for 4.5 hours, and then when you get off, you sent me a message going, "You're a fucking asshole, MathPig. Why'd you make me do that?" I didn't fucking do nothing.
No, I'm not. I didn't say you're a fucking asshole because you put me in another thing. Because actually, this was a really good conversation. Do you know who joined the
Doc,
second
I
stream?
seen the Doc was there. I haven't watched it yet.
Yes. So, and Doc's going to be on our channel as well. Doc's one of my absolute favorite people. I love the show that he had with Scientist Mel. If any of you haven't
do you like
seen
Scientist
Oral
Mel,
That,
Peter? Peter, are you a fan of Scientist Mel?
a little bit.
A wee
Hey,
bit,
wait.
right?
Shut the fuck up. Atheist Morph, Neil, the 604 Atheist, wants to know
Hey, Scientist Mel.
if you will come on his show.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Of course.
Now you can all talk. I'm sorry.
Neil the 604 Atheist still needs to get my shit fucking scheduled. Like, we've been talking about it for like a month.
I got you, Neil. I listen when you talk. The hair. Nobody else does. So there you go. You got it.
Scientist Mel, thank you for joining. I think you're the only person that I could legally kick Peter for and bring in that he won't shout at me and scream Discord in the background.
Oh, he will anyway.
Oh no, he's gonna do that. He's giving me the thumbs up. I've got the thumbs up from the back door.
So
I
I
did-
did. Oh, go on.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just saying I didn't mean to kick Peter.
Oh no, I definitely was looking
No,
for any excuse to pick you,
fine.
Peter. It's fine.
Absolutely
Mel,
fine.
have you met Jassa? Jassa has recently become one of my Patreons. Big thumbs up for Jassa. Big love for Jassa. Plus, watch
never
out,
met
he's
him.
military
I'm
intelligence.
the one that made the titillating humor about the horse around joke.
Yes. Oh, Jesus Christ, I invited... Morph! He's the star of the show tonight, the man in the red suit. We've got Ali from Nox channel, and not to leave Mama to the end because she is fantastic, but we've got Mama Atheist. Yous both will have lots to talk about. Yous are both scientists and communicators, and yous are going to be the best of friends.
Okay.
Yeah, we've never actually met. Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm friends with Mero, so I know a lot about you, but we've never actually done this. So.
That's cool. Well, it's
What
good
can
to
you know?
meet you.
You too. Nice to
So,
meet you.
I did want to ask though, with Atheist Morph, there's a kind of a distinction that a lot of the polytheist side makes when discussing religion with atheist creators, and it comes from a video that Ocean Keltoy did on superstition, where he talked about the difference between, say, anti-theism and anti-harm. And I'm curious, number one, if you've seen that video, and number two, like, which side of the spectrum you would say that you fit on.
So, no, I haven't seen the video. And I've not actually heard of anti-harm before. What's that?
So, like, anti-theism generally is, like, anti the entire concept of any religion at all. Whereas
Yeah.
anti-harm is more folks like, say, Knock or, you know, Cyrus the Skeptic, where they're more concerned with the direct harm that religion can do than just the concept of religion in general. So a lot of folks tend to be more okay with certain polytheist fractions, for example, because most of us are not pushing woo or, you know, like gathering in churches during something like coronavirus or stuff like that. Like, we're not trying to tell people that they're going to go to hell and scare them into conversion, like when they're dying and things like that.
So, I'm not against religion per se if it doesn't do harm. I've got a religious friend, for example, who is definitely social distancing and doing all of those things. because his view is God takes care of those who take care of themselves. And to me, that's a sensible view. The problem that I have, and this is something that Sam Harris has mentioned a few times, is that moderate belief can easily become something more odious, something more fundamental. And so, yeah, in some ways, I'm against people having irrational beliefs. But I'm sure all of us have some irrational beliefs, just not religious ones.
Well, I mean, one could say trusting your senses at all is technically an irrational belief because of the way that our brains can malfunction and the fact that our senses, we don't even directly experience them, right? But, you know, there's also a certain level of practicality to everything. So
yeah,
it sounds like you're more on the anti-harm side, though, than anti-religion in general.
Yeah, I recently saw a podcast, or listened to a podcast. I didn't see it, obviously. I listened to a podcast where somebody was saying that the way that we actually see the world is more like a graphical user interface for a computer than what's going on. That there's actually he's done some modeling, some mathematical modeling, that shows that evolution actually favors that type of interaction with the world over what really is happening.
Well, yeah, partially because in terms of just psychologically the way that our brains function and physiologically, like, we filter out the vast majority of what we perceive. Folks with certain neurological conditions like ADHD and to a lesser extent autism have a much harder time doing this, which is part of the reason why we're as distractible as we are. But for the most part, like when you are, say, watching a movie or something, one of the things that I like to point out when I talk to people about perception and how skewed it can get is, like, you know, think about the last movie you went to the theater and watched. Do you remember the theater and the people moving around? Like, chances are, unless there was somebody really tall in front of you or like a kid that was screaming or something like that, you remember the movie and it plays in your head like it was just the movie versus remembering all the seats in front of you and what conversation you had with your friend and stuff like that, because of the way that, you know, our memories and our brains filter out what we think is the most important. You get something similar, like you actually have a hole in the middle of your vision that your brain filters out when it processes the information coming from your optic nerves. So nobody actually sees that hole. But it's part of that hole in your vision is part of where a lot of optical illusions and things can function. So it's really fascinating to kind of study the limits of our perception and how much we can or can't trust our senses.
Yep, I think that's true. Incidentally, the last film I saw at the cinema was 1917, and all I remember is I went to go fast and had a very nice pizza and chips.
I just saw that movie. It was so fucking good. It was so good.
Scientist Mel, you've just joined us, and we Peter, so we need to give you a wee bit of recognition. You know, Peter's still there, but Mel, do you want to let people know who you are and drop the mic and the degrees as well while we're doing this shit? We've got a math one. We've got math up here in his shorts. Look at them sexy shorts. We've got climate scientist. You know, come on, let's
Oh my goodness! If only he was wearing green. All the fun things to do. Oh my goodness! So I've been on your channel a couple of times. I think it was.
Yes,
we had an interview, and then we had some game where we said words.
Quiplash.
There you go. I'm terrible at those things. So I'm a science communicator. I'm in academia, and I just talk about science on my channel an awful lot. I'm the thing that got me involved in that was looking at the National Science Foundation and the numbers associated with general population understanding of science. We went from about 23% of the U.S. thinking that the sun revolves around the Earth to 27%. So more than 1 in 4 people think the sun revolves around the Earth. So I was like, okay, so I have this education. I need to probably be a voice out there. So trying to promote the correct information, but you know, some days are not good days for battle, particularly when people think that 5G is causing the coronavirus.
Morph did mention that earlier. He'd seen the conspiracy of 5G.
It's, you know, makes you want to put your head through the wall. a little bit, but you try to be a louder voice of reason. So that's what I try to do with my stuff and things. So there you go.
Yeah, Morph and Mel, nice to meet each other. There you are. I'm a facilitator. That's it.
Scientist Mel, the last time you were on our channel, that was during the consent thing, right? When we were talking about the David Worley interview.
Oh,
that was a wonderful conversation.
That was great.
Mr. Hansy.
Dr. Hansy.
Dr. Hansy.
It's not just a mister. He was a doctor. And, he wanted to let me know it wasn't creepy for him to touch me in those ways. That's him thanking me. And I'm like, let me call all my gay friends to have them come up here, all my gay male friends, and start rubbing on you and thanking you for being such a great visitor.
Well, you are technically a cam girl, Mel, are you not?
For science, yes. And since we've moved online, I'm legit, guys.
Yeah, no. Everybody thinks I'm making a sex joke, but she is actually a cam girl for science. That is her.
Bona fide and paid for every month by my job now, guys. I'm a professional cam girl for science.
She, of course, had to use the word bona fide.
Bona fide. I'm in the South. That means something else.
Bona fide.
Bona fide. I'm in the South. Now, if you're naked, that's just without your clothes. But if you're naked, you're naked and up. You're without your clothes and you're up to something.
I have to appreciate the way you say that now, because that's with an E.
I know none of this shit, so okay. But I'm not from here.
Naked and naked are different.
Yep, naked is without clothes. Naked is you're without clothes and up to something.
Yeah.
You don't even have socks on. That's when you're up to something.
Oh.
I think it's worse when you're naked with socks on, but that might just be me.
Yeah, but that means that you might think about putting clothes on. When you don't even have socks on, you're gone. You have lost all over.
Jassa, you need to get out more. You definitely.
I can't.
Here.
People in this side chat are picking up, but you ain't bona fide. That's from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? By the way, parts of Mississippi still look like that. So if you want to know what Mississippi looks like, parts of it still look just like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Parts of Louisiana still looks like that. Parts of Alabama still looks like that.
Yeah, old cars in the yard and everything.
I'm dying to hear what Morph is thinking. Morph's watching all this going on and all this crazy random tangent talk, and
he's going, my God, these Americans.
He strikes me as a people person. I know I'm totally speaking as if you're not here, but like a people watcher. Are you a people watcher, Morph?
Not particularly. I'm more of a Netflix watcher.
What do you think of our crazy group that we all have here?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see this.
So we're all assholes.
Oh, we've scared them off now.
The side chat because
something else. So.
The side chat in this suit.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, man. You're sitting here in a red morph suit, and you were not the craziest person here.
So who is then?
It's probably me, I think.
That's holy.
I don't know. Perhaps you could get.
I don't know if I were to regale you with some of the things I've done.
You know, I'm pretty certain I'm probably close to the line of insanity. I'm the bodies, guys. I'm one head injury away from being Dexter.
Let's be real here, guys. There's a certain level of mental illness that I think is required to even want to start a YouTube channel in the first place. Like, the fact that we're content creators is the problem here.
Fair. That's fair. I have no rebuttal.
Better from head injury, though. It looks quite bouncy.
Yeah, there's a lot of floof here, so...
Dude, Mel, you have like the prettiest motherfucking hair that I have seen on YouTube, and I know there's like a lot of thirsty Jimmy Snow fans that are gonna like come at me, bro, for that. But like, you have gorgeous fucking hair, woman.
And saying that, Mama Atheist is head of the Neil the 604 Atheists, her fan club.
President. I am the president. Yeah.
No, the president, not the leader. The president.
She formed the damn thing.
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but most people are bigger fans of his beard, though. Like him and the other like bearded escapades.
No, his hair is just
Have you seen
Jay's
him without the
beard-
bandana, Ali?
Jay's
He
beard
has the
is-
best. He has like the longest hippie hair. He's got the best hippie head.
Neil has the hair. Jay has the beard. They go together. So.
Okay,
Okay.
well, no, I'm just gonna have to say Ocean has the beard. Like his beard is omnipotent.
Hey.
Too. Ginger beards rule.
Fuck you, gingers. Oh, come on now.
Oh my goodness.
Mama Atheist is just like, I'm so used to this.
Actually, I was born redheaded, so I have really no room to talk.
No, we have no souls either. No souls. No souls.
Well, none of us do, so it doesn't fucking matter.
If there were, redheads still don't.
Well, I'm going to jump out for a wee minute here. Peter is having a fit attack in the background. He needs to say something. So,
Me.
you want to jump out, Mama?
No. Take me out for a second.
Yeah. Well, we'll not be going for much longer anyway. Right, hold on. Okay, Peter, how's the heart? Are you okay now? Are you okay?
I just wanted to say about this thing about Neil's hair.
Oh, sorry, did I hit the wrong button?
Here it is.
He scalped him!
See?
Did you
I-
scalp her, Neil?
I got better hair than Neil. We compared it.
Yes, but you
I'm
see,
the
Neil spent years growing his. You went to the shop and bought it. So you're promoting
No.
capitalism.
I stole it. I stole it from my ex.
Oh, that's
This
even
belongs
worse.
to my ex.
But he still technically owns the hair, right? So it's still his hair, technically, right?
No, what last week was Neil on your show, MathPig?
Yes, last Sunday.
Yeah, I wore this, and I joined as the 302 atheist,
Because you're half as cool.
half a Neil.
Because you're half as cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I ask a question?
you can, man,
'Cause-
this is your show.
Peter was on about Anthony Magnabosco earlier. Did anybody ever see the video where Anthony Magnabosco took Aaron Ra out to try and teach him street epistemology?
Oh, that is comedy gold.
I have not.
That is comedy gold. That is literally putting how do you say that in English? A bull in a china shop.
Yeah, it was a shit show.
That's how that I teased Arn with that on when he came on our channel, and I teased Anthony Magnabosco with it as well. I think it's still one of the best videos because this really explains why we're doing things wrong. Anthony will get answers, whereas Aaron just scares the hell out of people.
I mean, to be fair, that's like Aaron's entire thing, though, is he scares the hell out of people. Like, he even looks like that, like, typical, you see a movie Satanist priest, and he fucking looks like one, you know what I mean?
And so, but the difference is, when you talk to him in private, he is the most respectful, the most gentle guy I've met
absolutely.
on
He seems
social
like
media.
it. It's just his aesthetic is scary.
Yeah. Well,
He
so
does exude the angry Klingon kind of feel.
Yes.
Yes,
so-
that.
but there's another story. He once needed to go to I think it was some kind of convention or something, and his car broke down, so he had to hitchhike, and no one would pick him up. And when he finally got to the town where he was supposed to be going, the next morning the papers ran a story that Bigfoot had been spotted, and exactly in the place where he was standing by the side of the road trying to get a ride.
If I thought Bigfoot was needing a ride, my ass would have pulled over. Like, come on, brother.
I mean,
Oh
to
my
be fair,
God.
most of the people here in Washington would too.
Everybody in Alabama would think it was their cousin, so I'm just like, hey, come on. We're probably
Oh,
related.
that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, you get up in Kentucky, you get them up in them hollers. Oh my gosh. Kentucky.
So, Atheist Morph, we would probably love to have a conversation about like mathematics and number magic and stuff sometime on our channel if you'd be interested in coming on. I promise that not everything ends up the way that it did with Mama Atheist. Like, that's such a weird fucking situation.
Damn!
I slipped.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure you did.
Oh my god.
Ali, I only did it because that is the best part to wind you up, because it was a serious conversation, and that's because I'm an asshole.
Yeah, I know.
And she knows about all of that you just
Joss,
said.
I don't know what you're talking about. You technically don't exist, and I have proof he is the military equivalent of the testing of the Matrix. Watch out for Jassa.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of myself.
Matt, I have a question for you. Have you seen Dennis Leary's song "I'm an Asshole"? Because I think you would appreciate that song.
There's a better one. I literally made a video with Artemis Brain Sample, and it's the I-95 song. Have any of you heard that one? You were born an asshole?
No.
Or were you born an asshole, or did you work at it your whole life?
Oh wow.
And by the way, we're now on songs. You mentioned "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" I still want to do that duet.
I
I'm
personally love
not
that
gonna do a duet of Man of
Yeah,
Constant.
you need to learn.
None of y'all actually let Atheist Morph answer my question.
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's very polite.
I'm sorry. I'll sit here and be quiet.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Well, if you're on Discord or Twitter, we can try to get something set up, because I think it'd be really fun, and plus we might be able to send some of our crazy audience over to get you a few more subs, because they tend to check out the people we bring on.
Oh, that sounds good. You can find me on Twitter. It's difficult to find me, Atheist Morph.
All right, let's see if I can follow you real quick so that we can actually message, because I have a semi-private Twitter profile because I get, like, hate mail at random because I hang out with Knock too much. All right, there we go.
And for the people listening, we need 6 more subscribers to get Morph to 50.
6.
We need to get him to 100 because he needs to get his URL. So we need to spam Morph's channel.
Right. Well,
I
just
So is your channel just new, Morph, or have you just not had a lot of exposure to the community yet?
It's not that new. I probably had about before we came on here today, I probably had an average of about 1.5 subscribers per week.
Well, in other words, you need to get some more exposure to the community. Like, once you get kind of on the channel circuit and going through the community and stuff, you might get a little more attention. Especially somebody with a degree in mathematics. We need a lot more scientists and mathematicians and, like, people from academia in YouTube. Like, there's a lot of armchair sort of philosophers that kind of hang out on YouTube, but I think we need a lot more people that are in the trenches, so to speak, actually answering a lot of these questions.
Yeah, I don't do philosophy well, I must admit. When people start talking about moral arguments, I sort of go blank, because even blanker than I look in the suit, because because I just think, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but when people bring up moral arguments, I think it's sufficient to say that we've evolved as a social species, and that's why we have the morality we have.
I mean, I'm a virtue ethicist, so my moral arguments aren't derived from my theism in any way. Like, for what it's worth, by the way, I'm a Hellenist. I hang out with atheists all the time, but I myself am atheistic, but I don't think my morality derives from the gods. I think that, morality, it's very much the, we can see through history that morality has evolved with culture. Like, they're intricately tied.
Yeah. I'd agree.
So, like, being a virtue ethicist, I'm a Stoic. So basically, I'm a combination of Aristotle's Nicomachean ethics, like the idea of the golden mean, and the idea that there really isn't such a thing as free will, that, all of the choices that we are presented with are ultimately created by factors beyond our control. And all of the ability that we have to make those choices is also derived by the experiences we have, which are also generated by factors beyond our control. So like free will is a useful fiction, basically. I think that moral arguments kind of often end because of that, because it's a lot harder to prove free will than it is to to deny it.
Can I ask another question of everybody, at the risk of being stupid and actually losing all the subs I've just got and getting the side chat to blow up? One thing I've never ever heard, when people talk about free will, other people talk about determinism, like there's no other way things can turn out. But when I think about systems like the brain, to me, it's such a complex system. And I know from doing mathematics that you can get these sort of bifurcation solutions. So, there's probabilistic different solutions. Nobody ever seems to mention that there might be more than one way that things could have gone from a particular state. You know what I'm talking about, like chaos.
Yes, I was just gonna say, chaos theory is the thing. That's when. But
is chaos theory the same thing as free will, though?
I was going to quote Christopher Hitchens. He says, "Of course we have free will. The big man says we do." So I mean that was tongue in cheek, but that was his point. Everything's so chaotic. I don't think we actually have a chance. Yeah, you go ahead and kick me if you need to.
Thank you, appreciate it, man.
Oh, God, man.
The issue is, you can look at it from a
just because that'll really annoy him because he's been screaming in the background for ages.
You can look at it from a physics perspective, which you can go down the determinism route, but we tend to look at it at a higher level, where within academia there is pretty much consensus that we don't have free will at a psychological level.
Well, yeah, that's basically what I was saying. Like, you can only operate from the information that you have, and that's your experiences. And that, people are like, well, I can learn stuff. Like, I can learn from other people's experiences. And it's like, yeah, but your knowledge of that is still itself an experience. You read a thing, you heard a thing. That's still a physical experience.
Well, yes, I mean, the other side of that, when you consider chaos theory, one of my favorite examples, I actually did an episode of this on my channel about chaos theory. One of my favorite examples is Seth MacFarlane. I love him, the creator of Family Guy, who is actually a producer of Cosmos, by the way. And when I met Neil deGrasse Tyson, I was like, please thank Seth MacFarlane for putting all his money into Cosmos, because we need that. So
you met Neil deGrasse Tyson? I
did. I have pictures and everything.
I would kick you, but more if you want to say something.
Davey is more reported to say that he is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yeah, no. It's him. I've met him.
He's great. He's great, isn't he? So my favorite example of chaos theory is Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane actually had a flight on 9/11 that was going to hit one of the two towers. And he missed that flight. Okay. This is chaos theory. His personal assistant had put in the wrong time to his planner. That's one. Two, he drinks a lot, so he has like a driver. So the night before, he had encountered a lot of his friends previously from his school. Okay. So he encountered...
Wow.
Wow. So he went out and partied. He went out and partied with a lot of his former friends, previous friends from school, and got hammered. He ended up having a hangover and overslept. He had the wrong time in his phone for that flight, and he missed his flight. Seth MacFarlane would be dead right now had he made that flight, because those were one of the planes that flew into the two towers. And so you have all of these variables that played a role that were kind of within his, control, but so many of them were outside of his control. Had he never gone out with his friends, had his personal assistant put in the correct time, we wouldn't have the Orville, we wouldn't have Family Guy anymore. We wouldn't have, American Dad. We wouldn't have had any of that. And I learned about that from watching a show called Dinner of Five with Jon Favreau. If you've not seen that, it was on the Independent Film Channel. is great. He had Seth MacFarlane, Tony Hawk, Brian Singer, a few others, and they just sat around and had a chat. That is the perfect example of chaos theory. There's so many variables. When you get a certain amount of variables involved in a particular system, the ability to predict what happens goes away.
But that doesn't change what would in the scenario that you described that it was completely. It would always have happened that way.
Possibly.
There's actually like, you could potentially create a mathematical model that, if we understood enough about both the way the brain functions to see why his assistant wrote the wrong time down that way, you know, and things of that nature. Like, if you could create a complex enough mathematical model, could you not then predict these things that would happen?
Well, that's the thing. There's a mathematical model called the double pendulum, where where chaos theory kind of came from, and you can chime in, Atheist Morph, since you got the math degree. Chaos theory kind of chimed in with the ability to predict weather. When you have so many variables involved in a particular system, your ability to predict is within a certain time frame. You can't predict beyond that certain amount because of all of the variables involved. So as a scientist, we have controlled experiments where we can only turn off one variable and turn on another to see if there's a causal relationship between two things. But once you start adding more variables into a thing like the weather, you're limited on how far out you can predict the possibility or even the probability of certain things to happen, whether it'll rain or it'll be cloudy.
But that only comes down to lack of information.
No, it comes down to how many variables are involved.
Yes, I agree. But my point being, it's what we can model. That doesn't mean that the universe doesn't work deterministically. Just because we can't model it.
See, I don't know, because when you're dealing with certain things, the way that things interact with one another, you have so many possibilities. This is why we can't have more than just one variable in an experiment, because the more variables you add, you can't prove a causal relationship. So if you start adding more variables to it, you got, well, what happens if I remove this? Well, I've got these 6 other things going on here, and they all have their particular interactions. It makes it far too, I mean, you have to narrow it down. I mean,
no, I agree with you from modeling,
especially in my field.
Hey, Neil. So I just wanted to say hi to you before I go, because we haven't been in a room together in a while, and I've been dealing with sick. So
I heard, yes.
I'm going to be popping out in a sec. MathPig said he wants to swap me out, and I probably shouldn't be on for too long anyway, because my lungs are starting to hurt again, and at some point my meds that I just took are going to make me sleepy again.
Go take care of yourself.
Yes.
But it was good to say hello, and maybe after all this stupid social distancing crap is over, maybe we can have lunch or something in Seattle.
One of these days, yeah.
To wish you all the
Someday
best.
when everybody's done dying.
Yeah, once they open the borders again, I can't go down there right now.
Yeah, I know. Fucking, like, I mean, honestly, we have not left the house since my hubby developed his fever because we didn't want to spread it to anybody. Like, it's been quite the nightmare, but I understand why. You know, going through this myself, I understand why it's so important to protect other people. Nobody should have to go through this shit. It fucking hurts.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry you're in pain.
It is what it is. Like, I keep telling everybody, it's just, like, I can't control it. There's nothing that can be done. You know, I just got to get through it. But, like, you know, I don't think anybody should have to suffer like this, and older people especially. Like, I can see why people are ending up in the hospital and why, like, something like 20% of people are ending up in the hospital. Like, this shit's no joke. It's not the flu. You know, anybody who's telling you that it is, they're wrong. I've never been this sick before. My husband's never been this sick before, so... At least not, like, the specific way that it makes you sick.
Are you saying that we shouldn't believe Trump when he said, you know, we could use the flu vaccine for it?
Absolutely fucking not. He's stupid. Like, Trump is stupid. But, you know, my hubby has never had a fever above 103 in his entire life. He's never had pneumonia before. I've been in the hospital for pneumonia before, and even I've never had, like, I've never had pneumonia develop in 3 days. Like this is the fastest that I have gotten this sick before in my entire fucking life. Like this shit is not a joke. It's not the same as the flu. You know, I've gotten the flu vaccine and still gotten the flu in the past because you know it mutates so fucking fast. I'm telling everybody as somebody whose household is going through this, you know, social distancing is fucking key, guys. Like I know that nobody in this room needs to hear this, but I'm hoping somebody in the audience might, you know, who is on the fence. You do not want this shit. You fucking don't. You don't want it in your house. You don't want your grandparents to get it. You don't want your kids to get it. You do not want this. It's not the flu.
Yeah.
So our numbers are on the down curve at the moment. So the whole
Same here.
social distancing thing, it absolutely works.
America's #1, guys.
Yeah, we're at like 3.2% death rate as of this morning, according to the CDC.
We are great.
It's only
again.
taken 30 years to get back to something.
All right,
Oh
well,
my
I'm gonna
God.
dip out, guys. Hearts to everybody here. Nice to meet you, Atheist Morph. I followed you on
Yep.
Twitter. If you follow me back, we'll be able to DM. Like, let's chill
Yep.
sometime. Like once I get better.
Okay. Get well soon, please, and I hope your husband gets well as well.
Yeah, we're doing our best. Like, you know, it's just whether our bodies fight it off or not. Like I said, I've got a kick-ass care team. They're monitoring us, so I don't want to take the focus off of you.
Yeah.
All right, talk
Big
to y'all
time.
later.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. So, hi Neil.
Ali,
Hello,
thank you
Atheist
very much.
Morph.
Ali,
There's
thank
the
you very-
Hogfather.
Shush, Neil, shush a minute.
Sorry.
Ali, shush, I'm going to kick Neil now. Ali,
Can I say something really quick, MathPig, about you?
yes.
They have a dish out here called the Hogfather.
Do you know they actually have a cider in Northern Ireland called the Hogfather as well? And as of about 12 o'clock this afternoon, I created a backup channel called Hogfather. So just in case the Sears thing happens, I've got one of them. But yeah, I like the Hogfather. It makes me sound like a mob boss. He's all must
Well,
do what
Math
I tell you.
Do you know what's
Math-
in the Hogfather? What the actual dish is out here? You want to know what it is?
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, it's a baked potato that's covered in pulled pork barbecue sauce, cheese, and sour cream, man. I'm just
If you
saying.
take away the sour cream, that sounds nice if you take away the sour cream.
Pardon me, I'm drooling.
MathPig, do you know what they also got where Scientist Mel lives?
A Pac-Man machine.
Websites
Love
with
the
the
shorts.
lyrics of Danny Boy.
See, this is why you're on my list, Peter. Hi, Mama. Hi. Peter was an asshole, so I thought I'd
I
bring
had
you
a
on.
question for Peter. Why'd you bump him?
Okay, hold on.
Thank you.
Dave,
No, that's fucking
Dave,
nice.
me. Hold on, I kicked me. There
That's
you go.
no. I'm glad you're here, but I had a question for Peter.
Go ahead.
Peter, you remember that flag thing that you made up for me, the wavy one with
Yeah.
my picture covering the maple leaf that apparently pissed off a veteran?
Yes.
So,
Hey, I hopped in on that and I helped. I did. So
I actually DM'd the guy directly and said, "Look, man, there was no intent to piss anybody off, right? I know I asked." He goes, "Well, you knew it was wrong because you asked, is this defacing the flag?" I said, no, I asked because it's a virtual flag. It's not a real flag. I wouldn't do anything like that to a real flag. So, and it wasn't even me that made it. Somebody made it for me. And I said,
That's
but I'll
where-
tell you
that's
what.
That's where I jumped in. And I said,
Yeah.
blame me. I did it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just a virtual flag. It wasn't even a real one, but it really upset this guy. So I said, look, man, I'm sorry about that. I'll talk to him. We'll rework it and we'll make it different so that it's not offensive. So I had an idea. If we do the flag, we still have the flag in the background, but instead of putting my logo on the flag, how about we have it out front of the flag, kind of spinning like a coin kind of thing with glittery stuff? Can we do something like that?
glittery stuff.
I don't know, like gleaming, like little twinkles and shit like that. I don't know, something like that.
I'll have to see what I can do. I can probably come up with something. I mean,
Because I still want the Canadian flag there. I mean, it's within my logo, for Christ's sake, right? It's within
Well,
my branding.
I think you should just use it. I mean, I took the idea off of the starting screen on your channel,
Right.
and then I wanted to see exactly what the measurements were. So I went back to your channel, and then I found out that you take that away once the stream has ended, because literally I saw this on the after show with Bill Ashby. I saw you start with that, and then later I went back to the beginning and the flag was gone. So I'm not entirely sure.
It's I only use it as a thumbnail, so it'll be there until the show happens, and then through replays, it for whatever reason it's not there anymore. Unless you'll see it in the side as a suggestion or something, it'll have it there, but it's just a thumbnail.
Peter, have you got a spinning coin model?
I think I might have somewhere.
Because I've been thinking about one of them, because my logo works with it.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my goodness.
So one of the first things that I actually drew was a coin, and that was for someone on Twitter who came up with the idea and said, "Hey, can you do this? Can you make me a coin with a flying spaghetti monster on it?" And then the text, what was it? If hold on, I can look it up. About the fact that if you haven't proven anything, then there's nothing to disprove. Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
Surely if it's proven, it can't be disproven.
Yeah. So
I mean, there are an infinite number of times. It's never going to be disproven.
Yeah. He had a specific sentence. Let me see. Okay. When
I know
there's
what it
no
is.
proof for a thing, there's not to disprove.
Yeah, that's why I say, how do you disprove something that's never been proven?
Yeah. So, and he wanted me to make a coin. So I took the idea of the euro, which is silver on the outside and gold piece in the middle, and I made that. So that was literally my first real drawing. Otherwise, I just use images and work with those. But that was my from scratch.
Peter does great work, so he does all this stuff on my channel. So thank you for that, Peter. I just want to say
You got your city.
I got a city. You made me.
You got an entire city.
Melody City. I'm like, I want to live there because they're really nice to me there. It seems.
It's Melody City. I mean, who wouldn't want to live there?
I don't know. People who don't like me, I guess.
There's people that don't like you?
Yes, there's a whole list of them.
Oh,
it's really funny.
Wow, those people. Yeah. Just give me some addresses. I'll go start kicking some ass.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, it's
Mel,
funny.
I was off before, but you mentioned Dennis Leary's asshole song, and when I was younger, every time we went on a road trip, I would listen to that album, so I know the whole album by heart. So
that song is amazing. I love that song so much. It's so relevant for the U.S. right now. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. What were you gonna say, Neil?
I said the Cure for Cancer album. The
I
comedy
think
one.
There's two of them. I know I had the Cure for Cancer one, and that was definitely one. And then there was another one. I can't remember the name, but there were two. And Asshole was I'm an Asshole was on one. And we would just belt it the fuck out. And you're right. I have thought about it so many times since Trump became president. I really have.
The one I have is literally with the text: Were you born an asshole, or did you work at it your whole life? That is a great song when you're standing at the traffic lights. Open your windows. And then have it ready at just that particular sentence, and then pull it on full blast and see everyone who's also waiting for it. Is this?
What if it's both, Peter? What if you've got both the nature and the nurture on that one?
Yeah,
the natural ability and worked at it.
See, my thing is I piss people off, and I made that into an art. So.
You piss people off, Peter? Come on.
See? And that was even without me saying the word.
Discord! Discord!
Thank you! Come
on! This is like musical slots here.
Yeah.
While we weren't recording, he went on and on about you in the Discord. In that group of them.
You know that every time somebody says the word slots, I can't help but think of that Beavis and Butthead movie.
Yeah.
And they go into
Oh yeah, the old lady.
In Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas to play some slots.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
But you're a slut then?
Okay, I have a question
yeah.
for you guys. Okay, so some of us are on Twitter. Have you guys seen that people are calling? Okay, Peter might appreciate this because I have a character named Karen. So people are now saying that calling certain middle class women Karens is the same as saying the N word.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yes, I've seen that. There's a video on YouTube as well where they're discussing this.
My mom's name is Karen.
Well,
What's she like?
It's
She's
like a
old.
Karen is one of those middle class women that buy all the goop crap and they want to talk to somebody's
Oh,
manager.
fuck.
I want to see your manager, and they're
Has she just got some new candles?
Huh?
Has she just got some new candles?
Are you talking
Yeah.
about the what it's called?
vagina candles.
The
I did
people-
not buy 6 of them.
You know what Gwyneth Paltrow smells like, Neil?
Who that was?
With her fucking jade egg up her twat all the time, I highly doubt it smells like, what is it, like,
So
yeah.
there are
no.
people who are saying there are people who are saying that calling a woman a Karen is a slur.
No.
What do you mean, like they do, like in Australia when they call them Sheilas?
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what about average Joe? Or what about Joe Blow? Are we gonna call that a slur as well? I mean,
Yes.
they're like, it's the
Probably.
it's the same as the N word. I'm like,
It's every time that you have a group that doesn't want to be identified as something. They then turn around and say it's discriminating. Even though
When did this become offensive? By the way, when did the OK signal become offensive?
Oh my
when it
God.
was being used by a group of people that were using it to hide their not using it as okay, but using it as a sign of allegiance.
towards
Oh.
like white supremacy.
White supremacy.
That's
Yeah.
a bit
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
By the way,
I got a better sign for them.
Yes.
my son is 16, so after that shit came out, him and his friends spammed a whole bunch of Instagrams with them doing that, like jokingly.
Yeah.
They're like, "This is bullshit." So then they did it. I'm like, "What if people actually think like that?" And they're like, no, it doesn't actually mean it. I'm like, "Oh, you're a fucking moron."
Oh,
Whatever.
Wait, I have to shield before I get kicked. Apparently.
What?
I've got critical questions on usually every day at about 1 p.m. UK time.
You do?
Subscribe to me, or Peter will bite you. Apparently.
When I send you a critical question, will you be able to answer it?
So,
Yes.
Dave, there's just
It's on.
All right.
there's just one problem. You do that, and then for me,
Come on, man. He always does it at the right time, you know?
yeah. So for me, that's in the middle of the night. If you're going to do that at that time, I'm asleep.
I'm trying to sprinkle in some evening ones, mostly so I can get.
See, that's the way to go. And by the way, Mama Atheist, I need to mention this. I mentioned this earlier on a Christian live stream. You just mentioned the goop egg.
Yeah.
You really need to watch Mel's show, Audacity.
Okay.
I talked to Doc earlier, and I told him that I have a traumatic experience by going on Mel's channel on Saturday on the Patreon hangouts, where we were looking on Amazon for things to throw at Doc, and he should say whether it's real or not. So the egg is a thing, but vaginal weightlifting is another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
Is
that
it-
too.
Vaginal
sorry,
weightlifting.
what?
You vaginal weightlifting. That's what you're going to mention on my channel. I leave and you mention vaginal weightlifting.
It's your fault for fucking leaving for so long.
No. Well, we're at the end of the day, we're gonna be rounding up now in about 12 minutes around. But you can come back on, David or Peter. Finish about your vaginal weight.
Well, The only thing that I can say, that wasn't even the worst thing.
Wait.
Now I have to come in and shout at you. I have to be in stream with you and shout at you. Stop it. Just stop it. No, just stop it.
You're the one who told him to fucking finish. You know that, right?
What?
You literally just said it before you left.
What'd I say?
You told him to finish what he was saying about the vaginal weightlifting, and then he left.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
So,
fuck.
Peter, you were talking about vaginal weightlifting. Go on ahead.
You know, he's working in his class. He's going to be like the top of the vaginal weightlifting eventually, right, Peter?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not. So I saw so much that I can't unsee during those Patreon hangouts. And
so why do you want me to go
and we only looked.
Why are you telling me?
We only looked on Amazon. So imagine if we go to, I don't know, fetish sites or something. I mean, if...
Okay, he was warned. He was warned. Randolph. Hi, Randolph.
I kind of wanted to know where the hell I would find those weights for that, you know, on Amazon.
Oh, well, hold on. I'll bring him back in and
I think you need to be creative.
Do you want me, is it really that important that you want me to bring him back on? And
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Randolph,
What
thank
would
you
I
very
be
much.
looking for vaginal weights for?
I have no idea. You're the one that asked where you can buy them, okay? Do I need to kick you
I
and
could
bring
say
him back
something
in?
really fucking dirty right here.
I'll send you a video of a woman who does it professionally. How about that?
Oh God.
Well, you know, right?
Don't expect to see me for a little while when that
You know what the misogynist would say, right?
Yeah.
The men can do. The men can lift more.
What? My finger slipped.
Well, there are
Sorry.
guys that do that.
Sorry,
Oh yeah, my finger slipped.
Oh,
Right, if we can work our way around the room, we're going to work our way around the room in a very nonchalant sort of way. Mama Atheist, top left-hand corner. What have you got coming up in the next couple of days?
Finishing up another climate change video. TV time this weekend is with Mr. Bear. We're doing The Mandalorian. And I'm on Iron Rods on Sunday at 7.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's great.
He hasn't even invited me on, and I'm his friend.
I know.
That's okay. He forgets his friends sometimes.
He's just letting me rant.
Thanks, Aaron.
I'll yell at him for you. How about that?
Oh, that's okay. It's okay. He has no reason to have me.
Demonstrate the gesture he just used.
I know that's exactly what I said to her as well, Neil. She was like, well, you invited him, and why didn't he invite you? And I was like, because all I do is talk shit and drink. You've something to contribute.
Oh,
yeah, that's why we have a lot in common, man.
Yeah, I know. Why do you think 90% of my show is basically Neil the 604 Atheist Deconversion Stories plus extra?
Talk for a while.
So before I get
Quiplash is
stolen,
awesome.
before I get ripped off on copyright, Morph, you are the star of the show tonight. I appreciate you putting up with our random, the after party get out of control. I know you didn't get as much voice as what you should have. I hope you hit 50 before the end of the week. But is there anything you want to add to the conversation tonight?
Well, can I just say, especially about the last few minutes, that it's been, wonderful to be amongst such a great meeting of minds.
You must have us confused with somebody else.
Yeah,
I feel the same.
We're a bunch of assholes. It's fine.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, there's only one mind here, and it belongs to scientist Mel over there.
Oh, don't forget, hey, we've got a climate scientist and a fucking astrophysicist in the top corner. So hold on, where's that button?
No, that's okay. I'm fucking used to it. It's fine.
Oh no, no.
I'm kidding.
Used to it. I don't abuse you all the time. Come on.
Not from you, like from the Aussies.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
This
I can't
is
abuse the
different.
president of my haircut club or whatever.
Yeah, and as I said earlier,
She's the
the
president
woman
of the club.
has, what is it, a postgraduate in astrophysics and a doctorate
No.
in climate scientist?
No. I have a bachelor's in astrophysics and a master's in climate science. That's it.
It's okay.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh goodness.
Okay, Scientist Male, you're up next. What have you got going?
Okay, so I've been having like little coffee chats to talk about the updates associated with COVID-19. This Saturday, I'm going to talk about how virology tests work. So we can talk about the RNA tests. We can also talk about the antibody tests, how's that work, that sort of thing. Some of my background has been in generating more, essentially better tests associated with like breast cancer detection. So I do have a little bit of background in that. So we'll be talking about how do these virology tests work? Why does it take so long to do a particular test? And what are they doing to try to expedite testing when, we're in the US and we have a president that says something like, 70,000 million hundred threes, that's a number in the head or something. So it's like he can't count. So
He can't anything.
he's got
He's an asshole
numbers.
really fucking well.
He's got
That's
bigly
what
numbers
he
in
is.
words. He has the best words and he knows everything. And
And he knows how to grab things.
Fucking
He does. He knows how to grab all the things. And so, check it out, youtube.com/scientistmel. I'll be talking about that on Saturday.
Become
Melody.
a patron. I'm one of her patrons.
You
so become-
are, Neil. You've been
become
for
a
like
patron.
forever. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Melody,
I think I was like your 4th or 5th patron.
You probably were. You've been like there forever. It's like Neil's like been hanging with me for a while.
Perfect.
Melody,
Neil, have you anything
there's
coming up?
many years ago, I saw something on TV. They were training dogs to sniff people and detect cancer. Are you going to be covering any of that on your topic about the virus detection?
That probably wouldn't be on viral detection, but there are things associated.
Oh, sorry, the cancer detection. Sorry.
The cancer detection. Yes, I can add that to my list. I do have pens and paper. I can make a list of everything.
They still make those.
They do. I have a whiteboard now because we're like working online. So it's like, okay, I need to talk about dog sniffing. Dog
Well,
sniffing
that's what
cancer.
that is behind me. Fuck.
Okay,
Why are you
so
gonna
I wrote
go
it
to
down.
dog?
Dog sniffing. My writing's terrible. I'm not going to be able to work very long.
You're a scientist. It's okay.
If your writing's that bad.
Exactly.
Oh my god, my writing is fucking terrible, and I still take notes. Like when I'm doing my research and stuff, I still do it all. I write it out. It's so much easier for me that way, and then I put it together and type it out. So
Yeah,
writing is terrible.
voice to text is the bane of my existence, but it's great too.
I've never tried that. I should. Okay.
Okay, Neil, I asked you what you had going on and Randolph talked. So what have you got
That's me.
going on, Neil?
Me?
Yes,
Well, I was
hear you've got some
supposed to
big
have.
interviews coming up.
Oh yeah. I totally do. I was supposed to have somebody on today, but I haven't been able to get a hold of them.
Fuck them,
And
you're
they
here.
have not-
I got you instead. Fuck them.
Yeah. I'm in line. Wait, what?
I said
Flow
fuck
state,
them for
what are you
not
talking
turning
to?
up. I got you instead. Morph is away. Morph, are you away? Are you waving? No?
Oh, hang on, Morph. I got a question because I do a show called Deconversion Stories.
It's a
I
good
asked
show.
him already. He said
I was never deconverted. I was never a theist.
Oh,
You're like me.
did you have any religious influence in your life at all?
My parents were sort of, but no, not really.
Oh. Well, then that's not going to work. Well, mind
you've
you, I've
had
had other
two.
people that were never religious.
You've had some on
So-
before, 2 or 3 before, have you
Yeah,
not?
yeah. And we talked about that sort of thing, like religion's influences, people trying to get us to join, that kind of thing. If we ever, did you ever get into like paganism at all, or like witchcraft or anything like that?
No, I've just always thought that all of that stuff was just bullshit, basically. The conversion that I had was from being an atheist that didn't really care about religion at all to being one that cared deeply about it because I could see all the harm it does.
Oh, well, maybe I'll have you on. We talk about that.
That would be interesting.
That would be
You
good.
should.
Okay, I have three spots left in May.
Yeah.
Wednesday, May 20th at
Yeah.
4 p.m., which
Uh-huh.
literally a half an hour earlier than right now. Monday, May 25th, same time, and the Wednesday, May 27th at the same time. So
Okay.
if one of those, works, right?
Maybe we should DM.
I'll do that. I'll take I have
You're
a
a placer,
little
man.
photo thing, and I'll send it to you, and you can pick one of those days. I haven't started doing June yet because I don't know what's happening with Faithless Forum because I'm supposed to be a speaker at Faithless Forum this year, and I don't know if it's going down or not. They're still undecided on whether they're going to go through with it because it's not till June. So,
Mom,
I
I'm
would
going to
think-
swap you out for Peter to let Peter do a shill and probably shout Discord and whinge at me and make me put him back on my list if you give me a second.
well, I want to add two little notes before I go. I managed to get Peter or Hemet Meta to be on the show.
Great.
And what I'm really excited about, Peter Boghossian.
Oh, good. He responded.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah, he did. And he gave me homework. I have to read this entire book and before I.
Wow, he sent you that. Okay.
I've already read it and I have it on audiobook. So.
Randolph, have you anything coming up, or are you involved in any debates, discussions,
Well,
or are you just going to shout at crazy people on Twitter?
Oh, I had just been getting over an ear infection. It still hurts a bit, but the amoxicillin's been working really well. There is one coming up. We haven't decided a date yet. Steve McRae wants to educate me on the meaning of atheism. And so here I am, president of Canadian Atheists, promoting atheism as fundamentally being the absence of belief in deities and not denying that it's a polysemous word. Somehow he wants to make it more than that. That would unfairly put a burden of proof on people who don't believe in deities as if we're making a claim. And so it'll be an interesting conversation, I think. But I had to. We were going to do it this week, but I had to delay because of the ear infection.
Randolph,
So,
if you're going to do that, hop over to Nate Brody's channel. Nate has a few videos about Steve's position.
Yep.
oh, okay.
They might
lovely.
be really interesting. They might be really interesting because if you are able to beat him senseless with his own Stanford Dictionary of Philosophy, which
Lovely.
has the correct, as we would call it, the correct definition in it.
Is anybody
The
else really
classification,
bored of
yeah.
Stephen McRae? Is anybody else really bored of that whole definition thing, right? Come back in saying Atheist Morph has been dying to leave. He's been holding his face. Atheist Morph, thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it. You know, run from Steve McRae. Run from Steve McRae. Okay.
Oh
Nobody
my
wants to know.
gosh. I will sit here silently because I've had several videos about me on his channel that
Okay.
I'm a
We're not
horrible
doing it. We're not doing it. We're
Oh,
saying
yeah.
everybody 99. Thank you very much for all
Thanks for
coming.
having us on.
Check out all the descriptions that are not
Oh,
there.
by the
in
way,
links
by the
and-
way, two more.
So everybody,
That's one.
Two more for Morph.
2 more subs
He's
for
not-
Morph.
He's at 48.
48.
Oh, yeah, I'm number 48.
48.
Oh.
And I just added him to the Atheist Frontier resources.
There you go.
So
There you go.
49.
Really
49.
49.
One to
49.
go.
one more. Great.
Oh, come on. Don't make me stay. Don't make me stay online.
Wait a minute, MathPig. You put up the challenge. Let's get him to 50.
Really likes to talk, that
I'm
Peter
number
guy, doesn't
50,
he? Loves
guys.
to talk.
I'm number 50. High five.
Yay!
Oh, right, everybody.
High five.
Thank you
There
very
you
much
go.
for your help tonight. Check out everybody that's on screen. If I remember, I'll put their links in the description. So, thank you,
Thanks, MathPig.
everybody. Thank you
Mathpig.
very much for coming.
MathPig,
Thanks,
quick
MathPig,
question.
as always.
Quick
Thanks
question.
for having
Quick
me.
question
No,
before we
Peter.
go.
I just said bye. Everybody had their
I
back.
said we should get him to 100.
No, right, that's tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow.
We're gonna be here for a while.
Bye.